のように侍は
During the Warring States period, which lasted for about 100 years, from about the years 1500 until 1603, Japan was ravaged by never-ending wars. Feudal warlords fought for the supremacy of Japan, until finally when Ieyasu from the Tokugawa family could get the upper hand in the Battle of Sekigahara in 1600, and the extinction of the Toyotomi line. This was all with the successful siege of Osaka Castle in 1615. Under Ieyasu, the Warring States period ended. Japan was unified and pacified under the new rule of the Tokugawa family, and this was for the next 250 years. To assure peace and the uncontested rule of the shogunate under the control of the Tokugawa family, Ieyasu and his successors established a sophisticated system to keep the local feudal lords weak and under control. Sankin-kotai was the main instrument to achieve this goal. Sankin-kotai can be translated as alternate attendants. Since 1635, the feudal lords had established a permanent residence in Edo with a permanent personal presence of either the daimyo himself or first-grade family members like his wife or eldest son. Sankin-kotai was a political maneuver. It was used to control the powerful regional lords. The high cost it would take to make this trip to Edo meant that they were weakened financially, and it prevented them overall from waging war against the central government of the shogun. Historians estimate that the financial burden was about 25% of their overall revenues. So that was my little history lesson. But trust me, it's definitely going to help you if you plan on watching the film Samurai Hustle, as this film just deals heavily with this mandatory trip that samurai had to take. So before I get into this film, I just want to say that this film was given to me and it's available on SamuraiDVD.com. This website is a dream come true for any samurai film enthusiast. So if you like samurai films, please check it out. I'll provide a link in the description. Also, don't forget to use the discount code Bushido Blues at checkout. Get yourself a nice discount. Samurai Hustle released in 2014. It's also known by the name Mission Impossible Samurai, which is a terrible name. There's also a 2016 sequel titled Samurai Hustle Returns. I received this film alongside Samurai Marathon, and oddly enough they both go together because they have to do with samurai and running big distances. Both of these films are considered comedies, but this one is definitely a lot more comedic. One thing I'll say about both of these films is that they're both unique and refreshing. There's no other samurai films that cover any of these topics. And it's always nice now and then when you get, something that changes it up. It could get old seeing the same kind of samurai movie over and over again. So this was definitely a nice, refreshing treat. The story itself is set in the 18th century. This is during the reign of the 8th shogun of the Tokugawa shogunate. Naito is the leader of a small clan, and I'll say financially they're modest. Suddenly, Naito receives an order from the shogun to perform Sankin-kotai, and he only has 5 days to do it. The time usually needed to visit the shogun in Edo from their northern region usually takes about 8 days. And trying to make the trip to Edo in just 5 days is an impossible task. Besides the lengthy journey, they would have to observe many codes of conduct, which takes even more time for preparation, and of course it all costs lots of money. They will have to face multiple hardships. Naito decides to begin this unexpected journey to complete the journey in due time. But behind this impossible task, there is an evil and greedy intention of the shogun. So this is very much an adventure film. There's action, fights, and it's definitely more on the comedic side. At the end of the day though, I felt kind of similar to how I felt after I saw Samurai Marathon. The history lesson is great. You know, this is a topic I actually already knew about, but I never saw a film cover it. Especially not in this much detail. And I like how it just shows you all the hardships that went along with this trip. I also really enjoyed the adventure aspects. I love adventure films. And it's just a fun concept watching these samurai just race against the clock. It's great for plenty of tension. But like with Samurai Marathon, it feels like it's missing something. I didn't feel that there was anything really special with this film besides it covering the Sankin-kotai. It has some funny moments, but there's also some subplots that kind of kill the pace. I didn't really like the scenes with the clan leader and the woman. You know, it's kind of a love interest story, but I just found it not that interesting. But besides that, I'll say it definitely wasn't a waste of time or anything. You know, like I keep saying, it's a unique premise. It's an interesting one. I was interested in it. And at the end of the day, I learned something. So if you find this concept interesting and you want to see more of a lighthearted adventure film with some comedy thrown in there, then I'll say check out Samurai Hustle. But if you want something more, you know, meaningful and serious, then I'll say maybe skip this one. If you want it, it's available on SamuraiDVD.com. Once again, use the discount code BushidoBlues at checkout. And like always, thanks for watching.